All right. Very good morning, everyone. Those who are here, we are just waiting for some more people to join. Uh, Along with me, the analyst Jay Vora is here. This is going to be a wonderful webinar, trust me, and we'll be teaching you as to how to select the right sectors, and after selecting the sectors, how to drill down and choose the best stocks where you can trade and invest. Please note whatever we discuss during this webinar is not an investment advice. So we are going to teach you how we do it through Strike, and you can also do it. We'll just start in the next 15-20 seconds or 1 minute. We'll just wait for some more people to join. In the meanwhile, those who are watching us live, for the best experience, what you can do is, if you're on the laptop, just open web.strike.money, and if you have never signed up on Strike, do sign up right away and start doing as Jay Vora starts, analyzing. You can refer to the screen so that you will get the best experience. If you are on the mobile, if possible, just go to your laptop because Strike doesn't support mobile version as of now. We are working on it. Uh, but if you're able to open your laptops and open web.strike.money, if you don't have a login, don't worry, you'll get a 7 days free trial. Just sign up and start visualizing as and then Jay does that, so that you'll also learn instead of watching the screen. Okay, I hope everyone is going to do it right away. We'll just give you 1 minute. Those who are there right now, immediately just go to web.strike.money, open the dashboard, and just keep it as in. Then Jay starts analyzing. You can also do it. So what we are going to do is, first is we'll come to the sectors. We had already given a form to fill up for many of you on Telegram channel, WhatsApp, Twitter, and all. Many of them have replied back, and we have got what sectors we need to cover. But other than that, we'll be also covering the sectors which is looking good and which is looking bad, and then we'll drill down to the stock. All right, so let's start. Once again, go to web.strike.money, sign up right away, and if you're already having a login, just open the screen. Jay, it's all yours. Just you can, yeah, you can take over from here.
Sure. So, good morning, guys, and thanks for joining on Sunday morning. So, as Chavan mentioned, that for the best experience, log into the web.strike.money, and in fact, you can start doing the way I am doing it, so that you can get a better hang of it. And if at all, if you face any issue while doing these things, then please put it in the comment as well. We will definitely resolve it. And the format would be the same. So I think half an hour, 45 minutes is something that I'll be presenting, and I'll be showing y'all how to analyze the stock. And of course, I'll do it in Hindi and English as well, so that both the audience can benefit. सो यस, आज का मेन एजेंडा यही है कि टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हम सेक्टर्स और स्टॉक्स कैसे पिक करते हैं. इनफैक्ट सेक्टर्स हम वही चूज करेंगे जो आपने हमें भेजा है. सो इन दैट देर आर couple of sectors which unanimously you all have asked us to cover, which is IT and pharma, okay, and it is PSU. So these three I'll be covering, and then I will also mention कि कौन से stocks है within that which are looking good, and which is one additional sector that I'm keeping an eye on, so that I mean it becomes a watching point for you, and it becomes easy for you to understand कि हम कैसे stocks या sectors pick करते हैं using web.strike.money. So, Shekhar, there is a message from you saying that I'm using Strike app, and please guide me how to identify sectors of swing trading and select time frame. Okay, sure. So don't worry, Shekhar, that will be addressed. So quickly, let me present my screen. Okay. So as you can see, I mean, in the top-down approach, we have already mentioned that to select sectors. Okay, so let me write it over here for y'all so that you understand. In the top down approach, okay, what we will do is that, so initially, to select best, so firstly what we'll have to understand is what is the market view, matlab ke nifty whether it is going to go up or down. So for that, we'll have a brief look at the sentiment. So understanding broad market trend, for that use sentiment indicators, sentiment diffusion indicators. Okay, so this I will be covering in a very brief while, for you to just understand what the market is. Then we will analyzing best indices through heat map or RRG or both. Okay, the third one is to analyze stocks. Now over here, you can use different methods, based on if you are trader, investor. So based on that, I'll just put out the methods that you can use. So it is through scanners. Specific ones are RMI, Dow trend, okay, moving averages, etc. The other one is valuations. So basically in that you can use strike valuation setup. So yes, I mean broadly these are the ones, and also you can use Rohit setup, which is where we give you this predefined template. Okay, and everyone who has been following us and who knows our method. So basically, what we try to do is that we try to see if the stocks are below the key averages or not for the uptrend. So for that we usually use 20-day average, and for, sorry, not day average, but we use it on all the time frames. So 20 average or 40 exponential average. Okay, these are the two moving averages that we use to for the identification of the trend and to know whether the stock or the index is uptrending or not. So let us start with the first one, which is to understand what is the broader sentiment of the market. So this, actually from time to time, we have been publishing on our strike platform as well. So those who haven't followed us on Twitter, please follow us. We keep giving our insights over here, and we try to mention whenever some things are at an extreme, and how to think about it. Okay, so if you haven't followed us on Twitter, please do follow us. Our Twitter handle is strike_IC. So with that, now when we go to the sentiment indicators, I have talked about this in length in our different webinars, and most of you know that I have already created these templates. So when I see the short term template, what had happened was that when we were in this phase of correction, okay, when we were in this phase of correction, you can see that most of the indicators had actually come in the oversold zone. Okay, so somewhere we were expecting that the pullback can come, and that now seems to be coming. Okay, in fact, even if you see the diffusion indicator, which is for the short term, we look at 20 and the 50 SMA. So percentage of stocks about 20 SMA that had gone to almost 5%. Okay, which was extreme oversold zone, and we typically end up getting a nice pullback or a bigger up move whenever this happened. Like you can see over here, this was a downtrend, but despite of that, there are at times where we'll get this counter trend pullback. So over there, whenever this indicator sort of turns to uh, oversold zone, so we get a bounce back. Okay, so द ब्रॉडर आइडिया इज दैट कि जब जब भी ये इंडिकेटर ओवरसोल्ड में आता है तब एक बाउंस ड्यू हो जाता है, विच इज बेसिकली सॉर्ट ऑफ योर मीन रिवर्जन, कि कोई भी चीज वन वे नहीं हो सकता है. फॉर एवरी करेक्शन देर विल बी अ पुल बैक, एंड फॉर एवरी अप मूव देर विल बी अ माइनर डिप, और देर विल बी अ सॉर्ट ऑफ अ प्रोलॉन्ग डिप. और वो सारे केस में क्या होगा कि ये जो इंडिकेटर्स है ये ओवरसोल्ड जोन में आ जाएंगे, एंड फ्रॉम देयर विल कीप गेटिंग बाउंस. तो इफ you see on different time frames, we were starting to get oversold. सो 20 में सिंगल डिजिट रीडिंग आ गया था, 50 में ऑलमोस्ट सिंगल डिजिट रीडिंग आ गया था, 100 में वी हैड रीच्ड टुवर्ड्स दिस बैंड. और जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो कि 100% ऑफ स्टॉक अबाउ 100 SMA विद इन निफ्टी 50 इंडेक्स, ये इतना जल्दी सिग्नल्स नहीं देता है. यू गेट दी सिग्नल वंस और ट्वाइस इन अ ईयर. सो ये रिसेंटली हुआ है. बट यू जस्ट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जब हम बड़े करेक्टिव फेज में आते हैं, ओके, तो तब ऐसा हो सकता है दैट हम एक दो बार विजिट करें ये लेवल्स. बट इसमें क्या होगा कि हर बार जब आप विजिट करोगे तब एक अच्छा काउंटर ट्रेंड रैली आएगा, ठीक है. एंड वो काउंटर ट्रेंड रैली में नाउ जस्ट लुक एट दिस फेज. जब आप ये फेज देखोगे तब आप देखोगे कि काउंटर ट्रेंड रैली में भी ना ये परसेंटेज ऑफ स्टॉक अबाउट 100 SMA ना ये ओवरबॉट आ जाएगा. तो ये आपको एक हिंट देगा कि यहाँ पर अभी शायद ये काउंटर ट्रेंड मूव अगर है तो यू हैव टू बी केयरफुल फॉर अ करेक्शन, ओके, स्पेशली जब ये इंडेक्स में नया हाई नहीं मार रहा है. सो दैट इज हाउ यू कैन नेविगेट इट. एंड लाइक आई मेंशन टू यू, हमने यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी वीडियो भी बना के रखा है. In fact, in the help section, it is we have mentioned how to use those sentiment indicators, diffusion indicators. हमने इसका YouTube पे जाके बहुत सारे webinars भी बनाए हैं on sentiment indicators. So follow us on Strike IC. Okay. So यहाँ पर you will see that in live section, whichever YouTube, whichever webinar we do, everything is available over here. Even here, when you all go and type sentiment, webinars on sentiment indicators, so you will see over here, right? You can go through all these webinars to get a better sense of it. So now, yes, coming back, हम यहाँ सो सेंटिमेंट इंडिकेटर्स में जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया बहुत सारे ओवरसोल्ड हो गए थे, ओके. तो यहाँ पे से हम एक बाउंस एंटिसिपेट कर रहे थे. एंड नाउ व्हेन यू आल्सो लुक एट द चार्ट ऑफ निफ्टी 50 इंडेक्स, ओके, सो व्हाट हैड एक्चुअली हैपेंड वाज दैट ऑन द डेली चार्ट ये निफ्टी एक डाउनवर्ड फॉलिंग चैनल में चल रहा था, ठीक है, जो निफ्टी ने ब्रेक किया, ओके. ये ब्रेक करने के बाद एक्चुअली ये जो एक्सपायरी के दिन जो फॉल आया था उसमें इट एंडेड अप रीटेस्टिंग इट, एंड नाउ वंस अगेन इट इज ट्राइंग टू बाउंस बैक, ओके. नाउ नोटिस दैट कि यहाँ पे RMI बुलिश मोड में है. सो दिस इज अ गुड पार्ट, बट द ओनली वरी इज दैट दिस हर्डल इज नॉट गेटिंग ब्रोकन ऑन द अपसाइड. सो यहाँ पे व्हेन यू एक्चुअली एनालाइज, ठीक है, तो बहुत सारे हर्डल्स है जो बेसिकली अगर निफ्टी 24,350 ब्रेक कर दिया ऑन अपसाइड तो सारे हर्डल्स क्लियर हो जाएंगे. विच इज दैट, एक तो ये आप देखोगे तो ये इनवर्स हेड एंड शोल्डर्स जैसा पैटर्न है, राइट, विच इज प्रोबेबली फॉर्मिंग. तो यहाँ पे ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है कि अगर ये 24,300 से 350 जोन ब्रेक कर देगा देन इट कैन इवन प्रोबेबली कम टुवर्ड्स दिस एरिया, okay. So that means कि in the near term at least there is some positivity that we can accept, then we can expect, provided that कि हम ये support zone जो है ये hold करें. एंड मेरा गिव अप पॉइंट वही रहेगा कि अगर सपोज ये रीसेंट राइज का 61.8% है जो 23,688 है, ठीक है, अगर ये नीचे में टूट जाता है देन आई स्टार्ट गेटिंग एक्सट्रीमली नर्वस, ओके. बिकॉज उसमें क्या होगा कि एक तो ये 40 डे ब्रेक नहीं किया ऊपर में, ओके, एंड देन इफ इट फॉल्स डाउन बिलो 23,600, 688 वॉट एवर दैट लेवल वॉज, एंड उसके साथ ही साथ अगर RMI भी बेरिश क्रॉस ओवर दे देगा देन आई स्टार्ट गेटिंग वेरी वरिड, ओके. but till those support levels are held, I would expect that probably निफ्टी इंडेक्स ऊपर जाएगा. ओके, और अगर ये निफ्टी इंडेक्स ऊपर जाएगा तो लाइक आई मेंशन देयर आर टू वेज टू फाइंड आउट, राइट, कि कौन से सेक्टर्स ने अच्छा किया है. तो यहाँ पे अगर हम देखें तो निफ्टी इंडेक्स 26 को जो क्लोजिंग था दैट वाज द हाईएस्ट पॉइंट. तो मैं यहाँ पे हीट मैप में एक बार आ जाऊंगा. नाउ दिस इज फर्स्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि कौन से सेक्टर्स अच्छे करेंगे, राइट. तो उसमें मैं कस्टम डेट में डालूंगा कि एंड सॉरी, मुझे ये भी जानना है कि निफ्टी बॉटम आउट कब हुआ था. तो ओके, सो वेट, निफ्टी यहाँ पे मैं ऊपर अगर मैं टाइप करूँ निफ्टी 50 तो वो सेम पेज खुल जाएगा एंड इट हैड बॉटम्ड ऑन 21 नवंबर. ओके, सो जब मैं हीट मैप में मैं रन करूंगा मेरा स्कैन, उसमें मैं कस्टम डेट करूंगा 26 सितंबर एंड 21 नवंबर. ओके, सो यहाँ पर अगर मैं देखूं, या सो यहाँ पे सितंबर 26 से लेके नवंबर 21. ओके, तो यहाँ पर अब मैं देखूं तो इनफैक्ट आप ये देखिए, हम जो भी सेक्टर्स का बात करने वाले हैं एक्चुअली उन लोग आउट परफॉर्मर जोन में है, बिकॉज निफ्टी 10% करेक्ट हुआ है, आईटी स्टॉक करेक्ट ही नहीं हुआ है. ओके, हेल्थ केयर, फार्मा, दीज हैव करेक्टेड बट दिस इज द सेकेंड बेस्ट परफॉर्मर. उसके बाद पीएसयू बैंक्स है एंड सो ऑन. आई थिंक पीएसयू अंडर परफॉर्मिंग लिस्ट में है. सो हाँ, ये पीएसई जिसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे ये एक्चुअली वन ऑफ दी अंडर परफॉर्मिंग सेक्टर है. तो जैसा कि मैंने कहा आईटी, फार्मा और पीएसई इंडेक्स, ठीक है, ये तीन पे हम बात करेंगे एंड एडिशनली देयर इज वन मोर सेक्टर दैट आई विल टॉक अबाउट. Okay, so anyways, people who have joined us right now, if for the better experience, please log in and make an account on web.strike.money. Okay, if you don't have an account, so you will get a 7-day free trial and you can just do what I am doing so that you understand the system as well. ये तुम process भी समझ जाओगे and if you all have any query, please let me know. I'll be able to address it as well. Okay, later on when we get on to Q&A. तो जैसा कि हमने देखा कि आईटी, फार्मा, ये दोनों बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग स्टॉक में था, ठीक है, आई मीन बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग इंडेक्स में था. तो एक बार मैं इसे आरआरजी पे भी देख लेता हूँ कि व्हाट दीज इंडाइसेस स्पेसिफिकली आर टेलिंग. सो अगर आप आईटी देखो तो ये एक्चुअली डेली टाइम फ्रेम पे लीडिंग में है. ओके, वीकली टाइम फ्रेम में भी लीडिंग में है. सो दिस इन दैट सेंस इज अ स्ट्रॉन्ग सेक्टर. तो इसको, ये सेक्टर को भी हम एक बार एनालाइज करेंगे. तो इसमें अगर मैं देखूं तो मैं ये निफ्टी आईटी के यहाँ पे गो टू बटन में मैं जाऊं, यहाँ पर मैं चार्ट्स देखूं तो व्हाट आई कैन सी इज दैट, सो वेट लेट मी मिनिमाइज दिस. तो यहाँ पे अगर मैं देखूंगा, मैं सपोज मैं वीकली चार्ट करूंगा तो आई कैन क्लियरली सी that this was more of a cup and handle pattern जो breakout आया and now Nifty IT index is sustaining above that. Okay, so there is a possibility that यहाँ पे थोड़ा consolidation हो सकता है because ये weekly RMI sell में है. तो अगर ये 20 वीक नीचे में ब्रेक कर देता है तो there is a possibility कि यहाँ पे कहाँ पे sideways consolidate कर सकता है. Okay, but as long as it is above this trend line, the momentum is with IT index. Okay, that you have to understand. नाउ आई टेल यू, मुझे एक चीज स्पेसिफिकली जो आईटी में इतना नहीं पसंद आ रहा है इज इट्स वैल्यूएशन. तो यहाँ पे अगर मैं इसका वैल्यूएशन चार्ट देखूं और मैं मैक्स करके देखूं, ओके, तो यहाँ पे आप देखोगे कि इसका पी है वो 2 स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन के पास आ रहा है ऑफ इट्स लॉन्ग टर्म एवरेज. ठीक है, ये जो आपको जो ब्लू लाइन जो आपको दिख रहा है विच इज दिस पार्ट, so, ये मैं सबको डिसेबल कर देता हूँ. तो ये जो आपको जो ये जो ब्लू लाइन दिख रहा है, दिस इज basically it's long term average, okay, which is around 23p. Right now it is at 34p and this is not necessarily giving me a good comfort. But इसमें जो हमने पहले भी आपको एक्सप्लेन किया है is that अगर स्टॉक में अप ट्रेंड है, आई मीन इंडेक्स या स्टॉक किसी में भी अप ट्रेंड है, तो उसके वैल्यूएशन थोड़े टाइम तक स्ट्रेच्ड पीरियड में हो सकते हैं, राइट? सो अगर मैं, if I am an honestly, if I am a value investor, या मुझे वैसे स्टॉक्स चाहिए जिसमें डाउनसाइड थोड़ा लिमिटेड हो, जिसमें वैल्यूएशन कंफर्ट हो, सो दैट स्पेसिफिकली इज नॉट आईटी सेक्टर एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, ओके? Because as I told you, on PE basis it is towards the upper end, so this makes me slightly uncomfortable. But like I mentioned to you कि इसमें मोमेंटम है, ओके? बिकॉज यहाँ पे ऑलमोस्ट 3-4 साल का ब्रेकआउट आ गया है। इनफैक्ट 3 साल का जो है ये साइडवेज रेंज ऊपर में टूटा है। तो इसमें ऐसा हो सकता है कि अगर अर्निंग्स अच्छा आए आने वाले क्वार्टर में, देन पीई इवेंचुअली कम्स डाउन एंड दिस कीप्स राइजिंग, दैट इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी। सो दैट्स वेयर देन वील स्टार्ट हंटिंग द स्टॉक्स, ठीक है, कि आईटी में कौन से अच्छे स्टॉक्स है। तो इसमें जब मैं देख रहा था आईटी में, ओके, सो दिस एक्सरसाइज आई ऑनेस्टली डू एवरी वीक टू सी के कौन से स्टॉक अच्छे हैं, कौन से नहीं है, एंड सो ऑन। तो उसमें एक चीज जो मैंने नोटिस की वाज दैट मेनी ऑफ द स्टॉक्स, इनके जो हैवी वेट है आईटी इंडेक्स के, वो एक्चुअली अंडर परफॉर्म करने चालू कर रहे हैं। सो इफ यू सी द वीकली चार्ट, ओके, टीसीएस है ये ऑलरेडी लैगिंग में है, ये इसका थोड़ा इंप्रूव हो रहा है, बट इट इज नॉट अ समथिंग टू ऐसा से दैट वाओ ये मोमेंटम ऊपर हो रहा है तो ये चल जाएगा। इनफैक्ट इवन इन्फी, दिस इज ऑल्सो वीकनिंग, एंड इनफैक्ट ये वीकनिंग से अभी लैगिंग में आ रहा है, तो दिस इज नॉट अ गुड साइन एज वेल। दो ओनली आई थिंक सिल्वर लाइनिंग इज विप्रो जो इंप्रूविंग में आ रहा है, बट दिस ऑल्सो यू नीड टू सी इट कि ये लीडिंग में आए तब जाके मोमेंटम आएगा। ये कोफोर्ज, परसिस्टेंस, एचसीएल टेक, टेकएम, ये 4 अच्छे स्टॉक्स है, बट इसमें से मुझे टेकएम भी स्पेसिफिकली नहीं पसंद है, टेकएम एंड एचसीएल, दैट इज बिकॉज ऑन अ लोअर टाइम फ्रेम विच इज डेली चार्ट, दे आर बोथ इन द लैगिंग क्वाड्रेंट, ठीक है। इसमें आप देखोगे परसिस्टेंट और ये सब ये वीकनिंग में जाके कर्ल अप करने चालू किए हैं, राइट, विच मीन्स कि इसमें अभी मोमेंटम भी पिक हो रहा है, एंड व्हेन दे आर एंगलिंग टुवर्ड्स राइट हैंड साइड, मतलब कि उन लोग राइट हैंड साइड में ऐसे ऊपर जा रहे हैं, तो इट टेल्स यू दैट उनका मोमेंटम भी पिकअप हो रहा है, प्लस उसका आरएस रेशियो विच इज द रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ रेशियो वो भी पिकअप हो रहा है, राइट। सो एक्चुअली में देखा जाए अगर आईटी में, सो दीज टू आर द ओनली स्टॉक्स which have an established uptrend and they are rising higher, राइट। तो इसको हम देखेंगे भी चार्ट में। अगर आप देखोगे ये स्टॉक को, यू कैन सी दैट ये कंसिस्टेंटली थोड़ा पुल बैक देता है, फिर वापस ऊपर जाता है, थोड़ा पुल बैक देता है, वापस ऊपर जाता है, and it has been consistently respecting the 40-day average, 40-day exponential average. So this in the sense is a good chart, right? Now if I see Coforge, okay, Coforge has a very similar chart, एंड ये सारे स्टॉक्स में मोमेंटम बहुत अच्छा है, बिकॉज यू कैन सी ओवर हियर कोफोर्ज तो 20 डे को भी रेयरली टेस्ट कर रहा है, वो तो फिर भी 40 डे को टेस्ट कर रहा था, बट कोफोर्ज यू कैन सी दैट इट इज एक्सटेंडिंग हायर फ्रॉम द 20 डे एवरेज ओनली, राइट। सो एंड in fact in Coforge also you have seen a good cup and handle pattern breakout, which I think when this had happened over here Coforge, we had written about it on the Strike Twitter platform as well, that this stock seems to be breaking out from this cup and handle pattern. So yes, I mean Coforge is one very strong stock. So yes, I think if I have to look at the IT index, these two were the ones. I mean, honestly, I am not tracking IT very closely, but there was one stock which had particularly caught my eyes, was Nucleus Software. Now I'll tell you why this stock came on my radar. Okay, इसका मैं अगर मैं मंथली चार्ट करूँ, सी ऑनेस्टली आई डोंट सी यू नो छोटा चार्ट्स, आई टिपिकली लाइक टू सी अ गुड लॉन्ग टर्म चार्ट, ओके। तो यू कैन सी दैट ये 2007 के हाई को इसने 2023 में ब्रेक किया, राइट, एंड दैट इफ यू बॉयल डाउन एंड इफ यू कम डाउन टू द लोअर टाइम फ्रेम, तो ये जो ब्रेकआउट हुआ था ना, ये बहुत बड़े गैप से हुआ था। सो दिस इज वाई दिस स्टॉक हैज स्पेसिफिकली कॉट माई आई, ओके। बट इसमें मैं आपको बताता हूँ प्रॉब्लम क्या है। इसमें प्रॉब्लम ये है कि इसका ग्रोथ इतना आ नहीं रहा है। So when you see the fundamentals of the stock, when you see the quarterly profits, so ये देखो ये quarterly profit में एक अच्छा bump up आया था after COVID, because उसके पहले इसका run rate used to be 60-70 crores, okay, PAT का. Then it rose higher to 88, फिर 118, फिर ये 2024 में तो 124 भी आ गया था, 191 करोड़ आ गया था. एंड इफ यू सी इट इन टर्म्स ऑफ ग्रोथ, so you can see that there was a phenomenal growth that had happened in this stock. Okay, in fact आप revenue growth भी देखो 27%, 30%, ये 2 years बहुत अच्छा growth हुआ, and that is why the stock also broke out. But now on a trailing basis it is not looking good. इसका quarterly P&L अगर मैं देखूँ, ये September quarter का result, it was not good, right? And that is why this stock seems to have cooled off and it is not performing now, even when the IT is performing. But this is one stock that you can probably look out for. And there was one more stock within this sector. This again we had mentioned about it. In the in our strike post as well. ये Mastech, ओके. मैस्टेक में अगर आप देखोगे तो ये अच्छा खासा रेंज ब्रेकआउट था ऊपर में, ओके. एंड नाउ इट सीम्स टू बी अगेन रीटेस्टिंग दिस पॉइंट विच वाज 2021 हाई. सो आई थिंक अगर ये यहाँ पर भी ये हाई ब्रेक कर देगा, देन इट कैन बी अ वेरी गुड सिग्नल. एंड मैंने आपको बताया था कि न्यूक्लियस सॉफ्टवेयर मुझे पसंद आया बिकॉज ऑफ अ बिग रेंज ब्रेकआउट, राइट. ये सेम चीज मैस्टेक में 2022 में शायद हुआ था, सॉरी 2020 में हुआ था. And from there stock rose from 650 to 3800 or something like that. तो अभी ये एक मिनी बेस बना है, एंड फ्रॉम वेयर इट इज ट्राइंग टू ब्रेक आउट. एंड इफ आई सी द मोमेंटम, रोहित मोमेंटम इंडिकेटर एज वेल, दैट सीम्स टू बी इन अ बुलिश मोड. So yes, Mastech, these were the two companies that I specifically find it very interesting. Okay, but ये चीज में आपको एक हमेशा याद रखना है that if you are trading or investing whatever it is, please you need to have a risk management level, जहाँ पे if your view gets negated, then you have to get out. And as Chavan had mentioned earlier only, कि ये सारे कोई भी recommendation नहीं है, but I am just trying to tell you the thought process behind it. एंड मैस्टेक भी जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि मुझे ये स्पेसिफिकली भी क्यों पसंद आया था, बिकॉज इसका क्वार्टरली रिजल्ट बहुत अच्छा आया था, राइट. इफ यू कैन सी योर ग्रोथ YOY, that was almost around 100% PAT growth, revenue growth of 13%. In fact, उसका मार्जिन भी एक्सपैंड हुआ था, ओके, 16.07 से 16.50. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई मीन, एक तो ये क्वार्टरली रिजल्ट में अच्छा कर रहा है, ओके. यू कैन सी द एनुअल रिजल्ट ट्रेंड एज वेल, इट हैज बीन ग्रोइंग नाइसली. एंड ये चार्ट पे भी सपोर्टिव है, राइट, विच आई शोड यू ओवर हियर. सो दिस टू specifically on in the small cap section is looking very decent, because एक में चार्ट अच्छा है, एक में चार्ट प्लस उसका रिजल्ट भी अच्छा है. So these two stocks specifically caught my eye, when I was analyzing IT stocks. Then the other sector. So once again, people who have come to.
Uh, Jay, just go back to IT sector in RRG. Okay, I have a doubt over here. So
Okay.
now on the daily, see, like when you're analyzing RRG, okay, on a daily perspective, say like it is valid for the next 10 to 20 days. Okay,
Yeah,
so
15 to
especially
20 days, roughly 3 weeks to 4 weeks is what you typically end up seeing the move.
okay, so now can you just go back to the indices, all the indices, and just select Nifty IT?
Only indices में जाके
Yeah.
Nifty IT.
Ah.
Yeah,
So now you are seeing that it is in the leading quadrant, but it is almost coming to the weakening now. Okay, right?
right,
So do you
right.
see that Nifty IT can underperform for the next few days or something?
Yeah, so see, that is what I specifically mentioned in the chart when I was analyzing the chart. So, see, what has happened in Nifty IT is that, uh, see, over here now, there is a breakout that has happened, right?
Correct.
You can see that this is a cup and handle pattern, okay? Now,
Mm.
we had a negative weekly close. This is in sell, right? The weekly
Yeah.
RMI is in sell. So that's what
Hmm.
I mentioned, that there is a chance कि ये यहाँ पे थोड़ा टाइम पास कर सकता है.
Hmm.
Okay, above the
Hmm.
breakout point. But I'll be
Hmm.
very worried if this breakout is not held and the stock goes down.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
so yes,
So from a
because
short-term angle, you see either a sideways correction because
correct,
it's
correct.
almost like on the RRG also it's coming into weakening now
In the
from the
weakening,
leading
yeah.
quadrant, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So in the RRG also, like you see, इसका momentum weak हो रहा है, right?
Yes,
This is what
absolutely.
you can see in the chart as well, and the momentum is getting weak because it has turned sideways right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay,
So can you just go back to the RRG chart and then let us know? Okay,
yeah.
now from a medium term perspective, say like uh, daily is like 15 to 20 days. From
Yeah.
a medium term perspective, what is the indices which is looking good over here?
So see, right now, as I mentioned, we are talking only about specific index, and in this index, if you see, IT mein momentum was going down, but recently it has picked up. That's why now
Hmm.
RRG on the weekly chart has turned up,
Hmm.
right? So medium term mein this looks good, but like I mentioned, short term mein there is a possibility that there can be some consolidation, और ये IT भी यहाँ पे weakening में आके then again it will start curling up once the corrective phase is complete. Okay, that is a possibility. So that's where then I mentioned ke which are the stocks. So within the stock, it was Coforge. So as I mentioned, I'll just recap it once again.
Sure.
So we are taking some time for IT, but we will be a little quick in the other index. So see over here, now you can see, Chavan, that there are four stocks which are there in the leading quadrant, right?
Correct. Hmm.
Okay, Persistence, HCL Tech. Now specifically these two I don't like. Okay, uh, so TechM, it is rising higher, it is a good sign, but on the daily chart, it is in lagging. So if I had a preference, you can see that HCL Tech and TechM, these two
Yeah.
are, in the lagging ones. And you
Yes,
can see
but Tekem,
Persistent Culling.
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but Tekem, it's almost going into improving quadrant now in the next few days.
Yes, yes. So if I had, see, of the four pecking order which I had, right, Coforge would be the first one because
Yes,
it is
absolutely.
highly outperforming. Okay.
Hmm. Correct.
Persistent का correction खत्म हो गया, it is turning up, right?
Yes.
So this is also good. The third would be TechM.
Hmm.
Okay.
Because
And the
it's
fourth
going
one
into
will,
improving, and then
yeah,
there is chances that it can go into leading also, right?
या बिकॉज
Okay.
ये हायर टाइम फ्रेम पे तो लीडिंग में है. ठीक है.
Hmm.
डेली में इट इज स्टार्टिंग टू इम्प्रूव. सो यहाँ
Hmm.
पर से अगर ये लीडिंग में आएगा, दैट्स वेयर द मोमेंटम विल कम इन टू प्ले. अभी
Okay.
यू कैन सी दैट एल टी आई माइंट्री ऑन द डेली चार्ट इज कमिंग इन टू, is entering leading.
Hmm.
But when you see the weekly chart, it is almost next to lagging. Okay.
Okay.
So
So,
this,
so just to understand, it is
yeah,
good for the next few days, but on a medium term perspective, again, it can,
yes,
not perform much.
yes, yes, yes,
There's chances that it can come down,
yes.
from a
So that's
medium
where,
term perspective.
करेक्ट. सो दैट्स वेयर आवर स्कैनर्स कम इनटू प्ले. कि यहाँ पे आपने ये सारे देख लिए. नाउ यू गो टू द स्कैनर्स. ओके, यू गो टू आरएमआई. यहाँ पे बास्केट में गो एंड सिलेक्ट ओनली आईटी. ओके,
Okay.
you go and you select only IT, then you can see over here what is happening, and now you see what is happening. HCL Tech new sale, TechChem new sale, right?
Hmm.
तो एंड ये मुझे ऑलरेडी आरआरजी में भी बता रहा है, राइट, बिकॉज दे वर
Yes.
इनटू लैगिंग. सो दिस
Yeah.
स्पेसिफिकली आई ट्राई टू अवॉइड.
Hmm.
ओके, इसमें
For the if you're a short term trader.
correct, correct. Because here the momentum seems to be losing. Now, if it again goes back to buy or lower time frame pe say, so see, lower time frame pe it is into buy, but it is below the averages. So it's not that great setup. Even over here, अगर averages break होके upside में आता है, then we can see. But like I mentioned to you, I mean, Coforge and Persistence are the one which have a good setup as of
Hmm.
now. Okay.
Hmm.
And also for people who just look at higher high, higher lows and so on, right? So for them, downtrend makes a, a nice analysis point, because यहाँ पर भी see this Chavan again, daily में HCL Tech is making lower high lower lows, that's why it has come into the down list, right? So now
Mm.
in all the analysis that I did, RRG may it is into lagging, right? RMI
Mm.
may it is giving a new sell, Dow trend may it is in down mode. So this will not specifically give me a good comfort,
Yeah.
right? So that's
Yes.
how you can actually combine all the things. And in fact, the people who are investors or who look at things fundamentally, they can also, like I analyze for Mastech and nuclear software, you can go to the balance sheet, you can check all the valuations how they are, and then you can decide which stocks specifically you want to check, or probably want to trade or invest.
Okay. So very simple is, Jay, you took the RRG chart, you saw what is looking good,
Yeah.
and then you came down to the stocks where you started seeing the RMI and the setups, right?
Correct, correct,
Oh,
correct. Because
so
यहाँ पे क्या है, see RRG is the only place ना जहाँ पे you can see everything with a benchmark in one screen. Okay, या तो मुझे हर एक का individually RS check करना पड़ेगा, and
hmm,
relative strength ही मिलेगा वहाँ पे. I cannot see momentum. So you
hmm.
can say in a way that RMI plus relative strength is a combination in RRG. But
Yes,
again,
absolutely.
as Julius has also repeatedly mentioned that ये लीडिंग आ गया मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कल उठ के ही बाय करो. ओके,
Hmm.
you have to wait for the setup, and for the setup you have to check how the RMI cycles are going on a lower time frame for the execution point.
Okay. So those who have joined us right now, if you are still not signed up, just go to web.strike.money and do the same thing what we are doing right now. That will be very practical for you guys. Web.strike.money. So, Jay, coming to the time frames, you said 15 to 20 days. Now, okay, so you said for daily time frame, it's like over a period of next 2 weeks. There's no return this one guarantee that it is 15 days, but
Yeah.
approximately it's between 15 to 20 days. So now, when you're seeing okay a daily time frame, you are seeing that okay from leading to weakening, the IT sector is coming. We
Hmm.
can very well, you know, even though it's all a game of probabilities, but still we can assume that okay, IT sector can slow down for the next 2 weeks, but
Hmm.
from a medium term perspective,
Yes. Yes.
it is reversing into leading, so it can do well from a medium term. So when
Yeah.
we are talking about weekly, are we talking about between 2 to 4 months
Yeah.
approximately? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
you see over here, because in
Hmm.
weekly, see you can see that weekly में ये ऊपर आना चालू हुआ है, right? So
Hmm.
so that's where I mean, if the
Yes.
momentum starts picking up, then it will start picking up on the right hand side.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
okay, so those who are trading for a short term, they should
Yeah.
look at daily. Those who are looking at medium term, they should look at weekly. Those who are looking at long term, they should look at monthly. This is set.
Yeah.
Now the setup
Actually,
is
even weekly, they have to do the combination of both. Okay, like I mentioned, see, combination of two will help you to narrow down your list. Like I mentioned to you, see on the weekly chart, what was happening was that there are four stocks that are there in leading, right? अभी ये मेरे को
absolutely.
फोर में से भी नैरो डाउन करना है, तो मैं
Hmm.
डेली में देखूंगा कि कौन से है जो दोनों सेम क्वाड्रेंट में. सो इट इज
Hmm.
so it is Coforge and ये मतलब this is basically on the right hand side, right?
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
the stock is on the right hand side, मतलब वो benchmark को आउट परफॉर्म कर रहा है, simply put.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
because this is the RS ratio, which is
Hmm.
relative strength ratio. तो
Got it.
अगर स्ट्रेंथ ज्यादा है तो राइट में रहेगा, स्ट्रेंथ कम है तो लेफ्ट में रहेगा, राइट? सो
Hmm.
ये दोनों तो स्ट्रेंथ कम है, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. तो बट इन द वीकली दे आर ओवर ईयर. सो जब डेली में when they turn up and they come into leading और improving से अच्छा टेल आ रहा है, like you can see that emphasis, it has covered a lot of ground in last 5 days,
Hmm.
right? So if you get such sort of tail, then your confidence increases that weekly में ये जो दिख रहा है टेक के में ये और जोर से चलते जाएगा.
Hmm.
So
Wonderful.
that,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so got it. So now that okay, you selected the IT sector since it's not the best for the next
Yeah,
few weeks.
yeah,
Okay, but since many people voted for IT sector, but
yeah.
if you want to look at RRG for all the indices, what is that couple of indices which looks very interesting from a short term, that is daily chart, from a medium term, that is from a 2 to 3 months perspective.
So I'll do that. I'll do that, Chavan. The only thing is that first we'll cover the three index, okay, because that is what people had requested us for. Once we
Okay,
do that, we'll definitely come to that point.
sure.
Okay.
Okay,
So yeah. So right now, the next stock, the next index is Pharma. This is very interesting. The reason why I say that is because there are many stocks that is looking good in this, but it is sort of a mixed bag as well. So now, again, जब मैं इसका weekly chart देखूं, okay, so let us first see where the Nifty Pharma is on the lower time frame. So you can see that daily में तो lagging में है, right? Weekly में it is over here, and यहाँ पर से we can see that there is some curling up that has happened in the Nifty Pharma index. So this is encouraging. This means that probably if Pharma index was in a corrective phase, वो शायद corrective phase खत्म होके ये ऊपर आने का ट्राई कर रहा है, and that is where you're seeing Pharma index curling up over here as well, right? So ये improving में जाके leading में आएगा. That's where the real move will start. But now it is warming up. Now if we see the chart of Nifty Pharma, okay, you can see on the daily chart that the momentum is already in bullish mode, and you can see a sort of flag pattern over here. ओके, तो ये अप ट्रेंड था. दिस इज अ करेक्शन. अगर ये फ्लैग में से ऊपर ब्रेक होता है, देन थिंग्स कैन गेट इंटरेस्टिंग ओवर हियर. So this is also one stock, and also mind you that ये वाला stock, I mean ये वाला sector which is Nifty Pharma, this has been resilient and it has come in the heat map scan as well, when we did. So heat map में, now, I think there was one question some person had asked, that why did we take 21st November? The reason why we took 21st November was because Nifty का correction 21st November को खत्म हुआ था, right? So I am just trying to understand कि ये टॉप से ये बॉटम में कौन से इंडेक्स ने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया है. Someone can also take it from year to year as well. Okay, I mean you can play around your way, but this is just for people's understanding that I am trying to show them. Okay, this of course when it had bottomed out and the Nifty index rose over here, I ran this scan. Okay, and that's where then I understood that okay, Pharma was doing good. So यहाँ पे if I take from 26 September से लेके, sorry, 21st November, तो यहाँ पे Pharma is also one index that is looking good. Okay, and within Pharma, if you see in that time frame, it is DVs, Ipca Labs, Laurus. These three were outperformers. In fact, everyone which uh, whose gains or losses were more than -6%. So these are well outperformers. So Natco is one of them, Gland, Mankind, and so on. Okay, from Sun Pharma onwards, they start getting into the lagging mode. The worst amongst them was Biocon and Oro Pharma. Okay. अभी इसमें when I was seeing this, I mean Laurus Lab particularly caught my eye. So firstly I'll tell you why it caught my eye. So जब मैं RRG when I was looking at, okay, so as I mentioned, so let us take Pharma का both the looks on daily and weekly. Daily में it is improving, weekly में it is turning up from weakening to it is now sort of turning up. So this has a good setup. Now what I do is that Nifty Pharma, I clicked over here, and now I'm trying to analyze the stocks, okay, within Pharma. So here you can see that firstly what I'll do is that I'll look at the higher time frame. So weekly may you can see that Laurus Lab has just entered the leading quadrant this week. So this particularly, this development was exciting. So that's why, as I told you that pharma is interesting, and this one particularly caught my eye. अब I'll tell you one more reason why it caught my eye. तो जब मैंने देखा कि ये लॉरस लैब लीडिंग में आया, so then I started to dig up more, I mean dig deeper into this one. So then what I found was that when I saw the chart, okay, what I could see was that over here, there was a nice pullback towards the averages, and then there was a big move. And one more thing that caught my eye was this part. Okay, this entire consolidation in which it was going through, okay, basically something like this. Now this seems to be breaking on the upside. And one more interesting part was that, okay, I mean Lotus Lab was the only stock that has not so far performed in this entire pharma bull run that we got. But see what happens is that each company over here is very stock specific, right? So then I trust price action more in pharma, because a lot of things that is something insiders only knew, and only we end up getting. We get to know only at a later stage. So when I saw Lotus Lab breaking out from this resistance line, तो यहाँ पर मैंने रिट्रेसमेंट लेवल निकाल के देखा. रिट्रेसमेंट लेवल भी 61.8 के ऊपर है, राइट? तो नाउ रिट्रेसमेंट लेवल जब 61.8 के ऊपर क्लोजिंग आया है, नाउ द मेन थिंग दैट आई वुड वांट टू सी इज दैट क्या ये इसे सस्टेन करता है कि नहीं. ओके, whether is it able to sustain this breakout point or no. If it does, then I think it will start looking very exciting. The reason being, RRG maybe it is turning, I mean it has come to the you know uh, this leading part right now. Alchem is the one which is in lagging. Oro Pharma, heat map में भी हमने देखा कि it has been a worst performer, and it has gone, I mean it is in dumps right now. When we see the daily chart, you can see that Loris is in a different tangent altogether. Okay, right hand side mein it is outperforming. So this is a good sign. You can see DV is also outperforming. You can see IPCA also outperforming. Torrent Pharma, Ajanta Pharma, these are all on the daily time frames looking good. Now, what you can do is that you can also check each of the stock individually. Else, you can go to the scanner. Okay, remove the basket, Nifty Pharma. So your Lupin and Sun Pharma are the ones which are giving new buy on the daily chart today. I mean in the Friday's trading session. And apart from that, the other ones are in bullish mode. Like I mentioned to you, sometimes you will have to wait for on a lower time frame for those stocks to correct, so that you can get a good entry point. Those are all the point, like how to use RMI, how to execute. These are all things you will get it in the video. Please go through that. It will help you to identify the good setup stocks. Okay, now when I check this, now I'll tell you one more. Now as I mentioned to you कि मैं दो scan देखता हूँ usually, which is the RMI scan, and the other one is Dow Trend scan. Now Dow Trend scan में Natco Pharma caught my eye. So Natco Pharma was down to up, right? And when I see the pattern over here, the first look tells me that this is sort of an inverse HNS that seems to be developing. So then I started digging deeper into this one. Okay. So यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, ये inverse HNS आया. And see, whenever I get this conflicting indication कि यहाँ पे डाउ ट्रेंड में डेली में तो ये दोनों बाय में आ रहे हैं, तो इसको मैं खाली ऐसे देखूंगा कि ये शॉर्ट टर्म बाउंस में आ सकते हैं, बिकॉज इसका वीकली आरआरजी दोज आर ऑल इनटू लैगिंग. तो इन लोग खाली क्या है, बिकॉज इन लोग बहुत गिर गए रहेंगे, तो देर विल बी सम रूटीन करेक्शन दैट कैन, आई मीन रूटीन पुल बैक दैट वी कैन सी. बट इन लोग जब लीडिंग या इम्प्रूविंग में एकदम स्ट्रांगली आ जाएंगे, दैट इज वेयर इट विल स्टार्ट कैचिंग माई अटेंशन. अंटिल देन आई विल जस्ट थिंक ऑफ इट दैट ये शायद एक छोटा सा पुल बैक है या कुछ है, एंड देन it will probably rise higher. But now when I see Natco Pharma, so you can see that there is this inverse HNS pattern that is developing. Also, when you look at its long-term chart, so its long-term chart, if you see, यहाँ पे मैं weekly monthly कर दूँ, so you can see that there is this nice, I usually follow the log chart. So what has happened is that after a big up move from 2008 to 2017, this stock was literally in a sideways consolidation for many years, and now it seems to be breaking out. So yes, definitely there is a risk कि ये शायद इधर थोड़ा time pass करे, maybe it can see a little bit more correction or so on. But from a long term perspective, this is one stock that looking very good to me. That is because it is sustaining above its breakout point. I'll be very worried if it starts sustaining below these levels. दैट इज बिकॉज एक तो ये ब्रेकआउट का लेवल है उसके नीचे चला जाएगा, प्लस इट विल स्टार्ट ट्रेडिंग, आई मीन ये हाइस के नीचे भी चला जाएगा. एंड देन द बेस्ट वे इज दैट आई लुक आउट फॉर द एवरेजेस कहाँ पे है. एंड एवरेजेस में यू कैन सी दैट द 40 वीक इज ओवर ईयर विच इज अराउंड दिस लो, राइट. So yes, I mean over here, what is happening is that probably uptrend tha and there is this cool off that you're seeing, and now on the daily chart that you can see that there is some sort of inverse HNS pattern that seems to be developing. तो यहाँ पे अगर daily RMI bullish mode में आया, then this stock can get interesting. Okay. Now one more stock which was not a part of this index, but I think मैं ये week में जब मैं scans run कर रहा था, तब it came on my radar was Kaplan Point. Okay. Kaplan Point ka when I see the chart, it is more like a cup and handle pattern which is forming on the daily chart. So what had happened was that this was an uptrend. यहाँ पे वापस it went through a phase of consolidation. And ये जो मैंने आपको बताया कि मेरे को 2-3 दिन पहले ये स्कैन में आया ये स्टॉक on this big up move that it saw. यहाँ पे daily RMI bullish crossover दिया, and now price action is also suggesting that it is trying to break out from this range. So this is another stock that can possibly get interesting. If you want, आप RRG में भी उसको देख सकते हो. यहाँ पे we are into Nifty Pharma, so just add over here Kaplan Point, and you can see that ये कौन से ये कहाँ पर है. So you can see that Kaplan Point ये weakening से curl up करना चालू कर दिया. You can see over here in the past few days. So ये देखिए ये यहाँ से कर्ल अप करना चालू किया 26 को, ठीक है. तो 26 को इफ आई सी कैप्लिन पॉइंट, सो द 26 वाज दिस पॉइंट. ओके, तो यहाँ पे बुलिश क्रॉसओवर भी आ गया आरएमआई में, एंड आरआरजी में भी वो टर्न होना चालू किया. तो दिस वन एक्चुअली हैड कॉट माय आई बिकॉज ऑफ दीज थिंग्स ओनली. देन आरआरजी में अगर मैं इसको देखूं तो ये ऑलरेडी वीकनिंग से टर्न अप हो रहा है, एंड देन ऑन द weekly chart it should be in the leading mode. हाँ, so see over here यहाँ पर से अभी ये भी राइट हैंड साइड पे आना चालू किया. so when it moves towards right hand side it starts out performing. अगर ये राइट हैंड साइड टूवर्ड्स ऐसा अपवर्ड राइट हैंड साइड रहता है, then it is even better because that shows that momentum is also picking up and strength is also picking up. But nevertheless, even this one caught my eye because it had a good chart setup. Okay, so that was basically on the pharma, and the last one is the PSU index. Okay, that is the other one which people had requested for. तो PSU को पहले मैं खाली इंडेक्स में जाके देखूं. सॉरी, इट इज PSE. तो यहाँ पे मैं देखूंगा कि ये डेली में वीकली में इट इज ट्राइंग टू टर्न अप बट इट इज इनटू लैगिंग. ओके, डेली में इट इज इनटू इम्प्रूविंग. तो यस, मे बी शॉर्ट टर्म में देयर कैन बी अ गुड सेटअप दैट इज देयर. बट यस, सी आई वांट टू हाईलाइट वन थिंग टू यू. यू हैव टू ऑलवेज अंडरस्टैंड कि लॉन्ग टर्म में क्या चल रहा है, मीडियम टर्म में क्या चल रहा है, शॉर्ट टर्म में क्या चल रहा है. ओके, बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट विल हेल्प यू टू गिव अ पर्सपेक्टिव. Now, so right now on strike we don't have BSE data, but we'll soon put it. But if you see the BSE PSU index, which has a lot more data, okay, that if you see on the monthly chart, ओके यहाँ पे एक बहुत बड़ा ब्रेकआउट आया था इन 2023 एंड सो, एंड दैट वाज आफ्टर ऑलमोस्ट 15 इयर्स ऑफ साइडवेज कंसोलिडेशन. तो ये 15 इयर्स का ट्रेंड एक ही साल में खत्म नहीं होने वाला है, राइट ये हमेशा उसमें क्या होगे, पुल बैक्स आएंगे, अप मूव आएंगे, पुल बैक्स आएंगे, अप मूव आएंगे, एंड इट विल कीप कंटिन्यूइंग. सो इन दैट सेंस इफ यू सी right now from the top there is 20% correction which the index has seen. Okay, so to certain extent now इसमें risk क्या है कि because this RMI is in sell mode, तो as long as 20 month hold कर रहा है तब तक ठीक है, बट अगर 20 month टूट गया तो थोड़ा डीपर करेक्शन का चांस आ जाएगा, राइट. सो राइट नाउ द थिंग इज दैट लॉन्ग टर्म में ये एक बढ़िया सेक्टर है आई फील, एंड दैट शुड प्रोबेबली डू वेल बिकॉज इट इज अ 15-17 year sort of breakout that we are seeing. But on the lower time frame, okay, when you see weekly, it is right now in a corrective phase and it is just trying to come up. तो यहाँ पे अगर bullish RMI आ जाएगा and it starts trading above the 20 week, then the setup will get very bullish for this index. Okay, but that is how it is right now. And daily में if you see the momentum seems to be picking up, but right now ये almost एक important resistance level पे खड़ा है PSU index. Okay, that you see over here. I mean एक तो ये 40 day average ये जो इतने टाइम से तोड़ नहीं रहा है, एंड ये ट्रेंड लाइन ये टूटेगा और ये 20 वीक के ऊपर आएगा इंडेक्स, एंड इफ वी गेट अ बुलिश क्रॉस ओवर देन दैट कैन बी अ गुड सेटअप ऑन द इंडेक्स. बट when I saw the stock specifically in that, okay, that looked very interesting to me. I'll tell you why. So PSE index में हम अगर पहले तो वीकली टाइम फ्रेम पे when we see, so you can see that BEL it is into leading mode, right, और ये नीचे से कर्ल अप होके आया, गेल वापस थोड़ा टर्न होने लगा है कि पावर ग्रिड और इसमें सब में मोमेंटम जा रहा है. तो देर आर हैंडफुल ऑफ स्टॉक्स विच आर ओवर ईयर, बट वन मोर स्टॉक HEL इज लुकिंग वेरी गुड टू मी. तो RRG में ये फिर भी लैगिंग में है, बट मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि मुझे क्यों अच्छा लग रहा है. ओके, सो इसमें जब मैं देखूँ BEL and in fact yes, NMDC में भी also you can see the strength that it has seen. ये इसका जो टेल है ये बहुत बड़ा टेल है, and it is quickly moving towards leading. So this is one more stock which looks interesting. Now I'll tell you the reason each of the stock why it is looking interesting. Okay, BEL, HEL, NMDC. Okay, अभी इसमें जब पहली बात तो मैं BEL में देखूं तो BEL में इसका लॉन्ग टर्म जो चार्ट है दैट लुक्स वेरी गुड टू मी. यू कैन सी दैट ये स्टॉक में साइडवेज करेक्शन आया, इसमें RMI सेल में था, ये अपना पूरा साइकिल कंप्लीट किया, एंड नाउ इट इज जस्ट trying to now it has just given a bullish crossover. The stock has also moved above the 20 week and the bands are compressed. ओके, तो ये जब बैंड नीचे ऊपर में एक्सपैंड होना चालू होगा दैट टाइम द स्टॉक कैन सी अ गुड मूव ऑन द अपसाइड, राइट. आई मीन दिस इज वन. द सेकेंड रीजन इज दैट कि इसका डेली चार्ट में ना क्या हुआ था, BEL का लो, ओके, BEL bottomed out much before the Nifty index because BEL का bottom you can see that 25th को हुआ. Now if I see निफ्टी इंडेक्स, ओके, निफ्टी इंडेक्स का बॉटम बना था 21st को, ओके, और BEL का बॉटम यही टाइम पे बन गया था. तो इन दैट सेंस ये ऑलरेडी स्ट्रेंथ दिखाने लग गया था बिकॉज इट वाज नॉट मेकिंग लोअर लो व्हेन द निफ्टी इंडेक्स वाज मेकिंग लोअर लो, राइट. सो BEL if I see in that sense was had already bottomed out earlier. So these were basically the two reasons why I liked it. कि यहाँ पे एक तो consolidation हो गया, it came back to the averages and now it is turning up, and the other one was it made a bottom much before the Nifty index bottomed out. Okay, so these were two reasons. Now the second one has a very similar reason, which is NMDC, because that we saw on RRG. कि वो ऊपर के फेज में है। तो यहाँ पर भी क्या हो गया है, देखो कि ये बॉटम बना दिया है 6 सितंबर को ही एनएमडीसी, एंड इट हैज नॉट मेड अ न्यूअर लो, बट राइट नाउ possibly it is forming some sort of triangular pattern, एंड आई थिंक ये जब ये ट्राइंगल से ब्रेकआउट होगा ना, तब ये शायद उसमें भी आरआरजी में भी लीडिंग में आ जाएगा, राइट। सो दिस वन इज इंटरेस्टिंग। डेली में आरएमआई ऑलरेडी बाय दे चुका है, वीकली में इट इज इन बाय मोड, बट यू कैन सी दैट इट हैज बिकम साइडवेज। तो इसको ये रेंज से निकलना पड़ेगा फॉर इट टू सी पिकअप इन द मोमेंटम, else it is just going to be sideways. And actually Nalco is the one which stands out, नेशनल एल्यूमिनियम। दिस इज बिकॉज ये तो ऑलरेडी ये स्टॉक अप ट्रेंड में है, और इनफैक्ट ये वीकली में लीडिंग में बहुत पहले ही आ चुका था। इफ यू सी आरआरजी एंड इफ यू सी द पीएसई इंडेक्स, oh sorry, so it is okay, so Nalco is not in the PSC index particularly, but I think I had seen it in the metal index then. So national aluminium, so this is also a public sector stock, but it is not in this list, but you can see that ये तो पहले ही आ चुका था लीडिंग में, I mean, and after that it saw massive rally. ये 2110 को ही आ चुका था, and you can see national aluminium was over here, okay, over here. तो ये हफ्ते में ही जब ये कम गिरा था, इधर से ही आ गया था, एंड देन यू कैन सी दैट इट हैड सीन अ बिग मूव टुवर्ड्स 265। तो ये तो आउटलायर था ही, बट एनीवेज राइट नाउ व्हेन आई एम लुकिंग एट द स्टॉक, सो एनएमडीसी आल्सो वी डिस्कस्ड, एंड द लास्ट वन इज एक्चुअली एचएएल इन दिस। सो आई विल टेल यू एचएएल बी व्हाई आई लाइक इट। एचएएल, सो एचएएल में ना ये एक्चुअली आरआरजी में इतना अच्छा उसका सेटअप बन के नहीं आ रहा है, बिकॉज वीकली में इट इज इनटू लैगिंग एंड इट इज जस्ट इम्प्रूविंग, एंड डेली में ये आउट परफॉर्म करना चालू कर दिया, बिकॉज यू कैन सी ओवर ईयर क्या हुआ था, इन दिस करेक्शन इट वाज वीकनिंग, बट जब निफ्टी ऊपर आना चालू हुआ, ओके, विच यू सी ओवर ईयर, देन द स्टॉक हैज स्टार्टेड टू राइज हायर। ओके, यहाँ पे से मोमेंटम टर्न अप हो रहा है, बट द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट इज ऑन द चार्ट। सो व्हेन आई सी एचएएल एंड उसका जब मैं चार्ट देखूं वीकली, तो यू कैन सी इट हैज अ सिमिलर सेटअप लाइक बीईएल। तो हर बार यू कैन सी दैट वेन एवर इट इज कमिंग बैक टू द 40-day एंड द आरएसआई एंड द आरएमआई इंडिकेटर्स गिविंग अ बुलिश क्रॉसओवर, ये एक नया अपना अपमूव देखने मिलता है, राइट। So the similar pattern is now occurring over here. यहाँ पे brief while के लिए broke below the 40, but now it is trying to turn up. And in fact, on daily chart, if you see, there is a falling wedge pattern that is visible. Okay, and ये falling wedge pattern में से breakout दे रहा है. तो again, the setup on the daily weekly is looking good. The only thing is that RRG में ये अब तक नहीं पकड़ में आया है, but because I also सो आरएमआई एक्चुअली ये एक लीडिंग इंडिकेटर है, ये आपको बहुत ये जल्दी ही गुम जाता है। सो आई डू फॉलो बोथ द मेथड्स ओवर हियर, and that's how I think HL caught my attention. In fact, HL also caught my attention because ये डेली में आई थिंक डाउ ट्रेंड स्कैनर में ये नया बाय फ्राइडे को ही दिया था या पहले दिया था वीकली में। HAL, okay, so ये हाँ, see this week it has broken above the previous high, and that is the reason it has come up in the weekly scanner from down to up, right? So this is how honestly that I analyze. मैं एक holistically हर एक पैरामीटर पे देखता हूँ now, because strike has all in one, right? I mean, you take it fundamental, technical, different types of indicators, ये सब कुछ एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म पे है। तो इट्स वेरी नाइस कि आप 10-15 मिनट में यू गेट अ फुल ओवरव्यू ऑफ द स्टॉक, राइट। so that is what I mean, this is how I actually analyze it. Now one more thing, now I told you that one sector that is looking good to me, but उसमें मैंने जब एक्चुअली अंदर जाके देखा तो उसमें इट इज ओनली सिंगल स्टॉक दैट इज ड्राइविंग इट, एंड दैट इज एक्चुअली मीडिया. ओके, so this will be the last sector that we take up. You can see that media ये leading में आया है, on Friday. When you see over here, it's actually in dumps right now, but it is trying to turn up. Okay, it is trying to turn up. Now I told you that इसमें एक ही स्टॉक अच्छा लग रहा है, and I mean एक ही स्टॉक है जो उसको ड्राइव करता है, and that is Z, because it has a massive weight on it. But Z का also the setup looks very good, and this is something that even we have highlighted over here as well on a post a couple of days back. So it was basically this one. You can see that Z Entertainment. So यहाँ पे actually Z में the whole idea is that इसका जो 5 year का market cap to sales on a valuation parameter, that has come towards the -2 HD mark, which is typically a good sign, and it shows that the stock is undervalued, and there is a bullish crossover that is happening in the stock, after this consolidation. And add to that, ये पूरा 2020 का जो लो है उसको वापस टेस्ट करके ये ऊपर आ रहा है. सो लेट मी जस्ट शो यू ऑन द चार्ट ओवर हियर व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से. ओके, दिस इज द थिंग. ये 2020 के लो को बाउंस करके वापस ऊपर आ रहा है. द RMI हैज गिवन अ बुलिश क्रॉसओवर. ओके, यहाँ पे द ओनली थिंग इज दैट इट नीड्स टू ब्रेक पास्ट दिस रेजिस्टेंस जोन के समवेयर ओवर हियर, जिसमें कि वो 20 वीक भी निकल जाएगा, ट्रेंड लाइन भी निकल जाएगा. दैट्स व्हाट आई थिंक द मोमेंटम विल स्टार्ट पिकिंग अप इनटू दिस स्टॉक. सो yes, I mean, but ultimately the problem is that ये पूरा मीडिया को कवर करता है. So the good part or the bad part, whatever you say, is because वो उसका वेटेज इतना हाई है, तो मेरे को इसी में पता चल गया RRG में कि ये मीडिया आ रहा है ऊपर. देन आई डग डीपर इनटू कि मीडिया में कौन सा अच्छा लग रहा है. सो देन इट वाज एक्चुअली Z लिमिटेड दैट वाज सॉर्ट ऑफ लुकिंग a bit good on the chart, and which was sort of trying to show strength. So with that, actually, I'll complete the presentation, and if at all if you all have any questions, we can take it up. But as I mentioned to you, this is again a disclaimer. Whatever stocks or index that we have mentioned, the whole idea is to make you understand the thought process as to how we select, and not that कि आज discussion किया कल जाके ले लो फिर गिर गया, then you say कि अरे this was crap analysis and all that. I am just trying to tell you what all the data points we see, okay, before stock comes to our radar. Okay, then we dig I personally dig deeper कि उसका fundamentals क्या है, उसका balance sheet कैसा है, and so on. And then I try to take a call, especially if I'm investing from a medium term perspective. So yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Jay, for this wonderful session.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 minute. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So, Jay, let's before taking up the Q&A. Okay.
Yeah.
So now your primary.
Oh, yeah. You had requested for the index, right? Sorry.
Yeah. So before taking up the Q&A, Jay, what you do is, okay, once in a while you check the sentiment of the markets. Okay,
Yeah.
whether it is overbought or
Not
oversold.
once in a while. That is the primary thing.
Okay.
Because
So the primary
because I
thing.
need to understand कि market ऊपर जाने वाला है कि नहीं. Because see, everything that you see in RRG is relative performance. Okay. So market ऊपर जाएगा तो उसके relative कौन strong जाएगा, right? And if the market I feel is in a downtrend, then कौन सा weak sectors है, that is what I'll target. But right now, like I mentioned, through sentiment कि बहुत सारे शॉर्ट टर्म इंडिकेटर्स थे वो जो बड़े बॉटम का सिग्नल कर रहे थे. सो दैट्स व्हाई नाउ वी आर अप फॉर some sort of recovery. And even on the Nifty daily chart, if you see, there was an inverse HNS pattern which was developing, right? So that is the basis. I mean, that is the primary basis कि मेरे को इंडेक्स अच्छा लग रहा है at this point of time, इसलिए मैं स्टॉक्स देख रहा हूँ कि कौन से अभी के एनवायरनमेंट में स्ट्रेंथ दिखा रहे हैं.
Yes. You also discussed what is the levels you need to look at if this view doesn't work out also, which is the Fibonacci series, 50 or 61% from the
61.8. So
bottom.
that was,
Yeah,
yeah. So that was
yeah,
basically 23,880 or
hmm,
something like that. अगर वो
perfect.
break होना चालू हुआ, then I'll start getting nervous
Yes.
about the
So can
stock.
you just show our viewers where the sentiment and diffusion indicators is?
Yeah. So it
Those
is
who are
on the left
coming,
hand side.
yeah, yeah. So those who are just come and watching this webinar and never heard about Strike, go to web.strike.money, sign up. You will get a 7 days free trial. Try it out. Try out the sentiment and diffusion indicators to see whether the overall market, whether it is topping out or bottoming out. You can also, what you can do is go to help section just to understand what sentiment indicator and diffusion indicators is. Just go to the help section and just see the video what Jay is pointing out. Okay, so now Jay, you saw that many indicators are showing a bottoming out from a medium term or whatever. What is the time frame you are saying when you're
So
saying
short term
bottoming?
may, yeah. So
Hmm.
short term may it is bottoming out. Even in medium term, many of the indicators had reached an extreme. For example, wait. So for example, if you see the FI's positioning, okay, that was near to the minus first. I mean, that was near to the first lower line.
Hmm.
So यहाँ पे whenever you see that the readings have come, the markets have bottomed out, and it
Hmm.
has seen a rally. So this was another indicator medium term में. Second is that client का long भी when it is highest, that's where the market bottoms.
Hmm.
सो टिपिकली क्या होता है, दोनों का एक ही साथ, आई मीन एफ आई इज एक्सट्रीम शॉर्ट में आते हैं और क्लाइंट एक्सट्रीम लॉन्ग में आते हैं. So
Hmm.
that's where medium term indicators come into play. If you see the ED ratio breadth, that was also
Hmm.
pointing out towards signal, I mean oversold signal. The only thing is that this one which is not favorable at this point of time, ये
Hmm.
ideally नीचे होना चाहिए.
Hmm.
Okay, because this is client plus FII long position in the futures. So when this is at the lower end, that means वो या तो prop और उन लोग सब लोग short करके बैठे हैं, and that's where you end up getting a very good move on the upside.
Okay. Now that the sentiment, that is the Nifty, what it is saying is it might bottom out. Now you came to either heat map, you check the strength, or
Yeah,
you go to RRG, right?
correct,
Just to
correct.
see
So
the
yeah,
relative
so I have
strength.
see
Hmm.
I have put it over here. You can see that top down approach may the first one is to look at the broad market trend using
Hmm.
sentiment and diffusion.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
analyzing best index through heat map and RRG or both.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, third part is analyzing the stock. It is based
Hmm.
on scanners, which is
Hmm.
RMI, Dow trend.
Right. 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 So
Valuation.
now when you
Yeah,
go to RRG, when I'm बहुत सारे लोग इधर पूछ रहे हैं कि मुझे 2 दिन 3 दिन 5 दिन के लिए व्यू देखना है तो in
मैं
RRG you
honest,
can try it out for 60 minutes. You
I
know,
know, but वो 60 minute बहुत fast है, frankly.
बहुत फास्ट है. Yeah.
And the other thing that people don't realize is that this is all relative performance. Okay, तो मार्केट नीचे जाएगा और तुम स्टॉक्स को लीडिंग में देखोगे तो बोलेगा अरे लीडिंग कैसे है जब स्टॉक
Hmm.
नीचे जा रहा है, बट इट इज ऑल
Yeah.
relative performance. Okay, so
Yes.
when you're doing for 2-3 days you want absolute returns, right, not relative. तो
Hmm.
वो टाइम पे इट मेक्स मोर सेंस टू स्विच टू द स्कैनर्स एंड फाइंड आउट स्टॉक्स ओवर देयर. सो आई टेल
Yes.
यू कि आपको छोटे टाइम फ्रेम के लिए देखने हैं ना 2 to 3 days, तो आपको क्या करने का, आरएमआई में आने का, से आई एम जस्ट लुकिंग फ्रॉम अ एफएनओ पर्सपेक्टिव. ओके, एफएनओ बास्केट. तो
Hmm.
यहाँ पे हमेशा मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं दो फिल्टर लगा देता हूँ. पहले तो मुझे हायर टाइम फ्रेम में बाय या न्यू बाय चाहिए. Okay, on a
Hmm.
higher time frame I'll look for the stocks which are either in buy or new buy mode, and
Hmm.
daily and hourly chart mein which are the ones which are giving me new buy.
Hmm. This is
Because
only from a very short term, say
very
like two
very
to
short
five
term, yeah,
days. Yeah.
this is 1 day to 5 day or max 10 days perspective.
Hmm.
So like you see over here, see what is happening is that कि daily में Apollo is in a bullish mode, right? So what you want to do is that because ये इतना भाग गया है, तो there will be a counter trend move, right?
Hmm.
तो ये काउंटर ट्रेंड मूव में जब ये पिकअप होना चालू होगा ना, दैट्स व्हाट यू वांट टू कैच,
Hmm.
एंड दैट्स व्हाई यू विल यूज दीज टू कॉम्बिनेशन. सो आप सर्च करोगे ये स्टॉक्स में से बेटर सेटअप किसका है, एंड देन यू माइट वांट टू गो फॉर द ट्रेड. बट आई वुड
Mm,
recommend that 60 minutes is way too fast. यूज RMI, इट विल हेल्प यू अलॉट. ऐसा दो टाइम फ्रेम का आप कॉम्बिनेशन कर दो. अगर यही मुझे इन्वेस्टमेंट का करना रहता है ना मीडियम टर्म, तो व्हाट आई डू इज दैट कि मैं वीकली में बाय लगा देता हूँ, बाय या न्यू बाय, एंड डेली में कौन से नए बाय में आ रहे हैं. सो दिस
mm.
इज, ये थोड़ा पोजिशनल हो जाएगा. सो वीकली में एक्चुअली कोई भी नया बाय अभी दे नहीं रहा है, सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज नॉट कमिंग इनटू आवर लिस्ट.
Okay, perfect. So now let's come to RRG. So say like if you are having a view for the next 15, 20 days, 2 weeks, then you're going to check daily. If it is medium term, it is weekly, and long term, it is monthly. Now,
You
now,
will always
okay, now,
combine it with two time frames to understand.
yes,
मतलब
absolutely. Multi
daily
time
will be
frames
my,
is important. Yeah. So now in RRG, what is the two setups you actually look at? Is it from weakening? If it is reversing back to leading, that is
yeah,
very, very good, right?
yeah,
So you
yeah,
have to just
yeah,
check whether from weakening it is going back to, if you can show them the shape.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll just tell you the logic कि हम क्यों weakening से ऊपर आते हैं तो दिखाते हैं. I mean why we give it more importance. That is because see when the stock is rising higher ना, तो ये time पे imagine that this is the leading quadrant. Okay, leading, improving, lagging, and weakening. ओके, तो जब ये स्टॉक ऐसे करेक्टिव फेज में रहेगा ना, तो दैट्स वेयर द स्टॉक विच माइट बी इनटू लीडिंग, that will start rotating on the downside and it will come to weakening. But the moment when it starts picking up the next leg, so that's where now again this will curl up and that will start rising higher. So that is the
Okay.
logic why we are trying to catch the stocks जो weakening से turn up हो रहे हैं. Because that's where it means that ये जो छोटा correction है ना, वो खत्म होके ये up move जा रहा है.
Okay.
And that's where
So
we are
this is
using
a
a
counter
combination
rally to
of
the
RSI.
previous rally. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Got it. This is a continuation of the previous rally.
correct, correct.
Okay, perfect. And what is that? The second one, is it from improving to leading, or is it from?
नहीं, हाँ,
Yeah.
improving to leading. So one which comes from year to year. मतलब यहाँ पे लीडिंग में आ रहा है ना, मतलब ये एटलीस्ट नेक्स्ट दो तीन महीने के लिए इट कैन बी द स्टॉक दैट कैन बी इन फोकस. सी रेयरली यू कैन ऑल्सो सी कि ये इधर से आके ऐसे ही हो जाता है, बट यू हैव टू लुक एट द टेल लेंथ. अगर टेल लेंथ बहुत फास्ट है और बड़ा है, तो देर इज अ हाई चांस कि इसमें कुछ बड़ा मोमेंटम हो रहा है. सी इफ नाउ आई टेल यू विच स्टॉक ऑल्सो टू लुक एट. अगर सी नाउ दिस इज अनदर स्टॉक, ओके, जो ऐसे है, ऐसे करके जा रहा है रीडिंग में. दिस इज नॉट ग्रेट बिकॉज ये ऑलमोस्ट मिडल लाइन के अराउंड ही हवर हो रहा है, राइट?
Yeah.
तो
Yeah.
इसमें ना मूवमेंट बहुत छोटा छोटा आएगा, बट द स्टॉक विच इज ओवर ईयर एंड इट इज कमिंग ओवर ईयर, दिस विल गेन मोर स्ट्रेंथ और दिस विल सी अ लॉट ऑफ एक्शन हैपनिंग.
Got it. Okay.
So the higher it is
So
on the
like this, you do
momentum
the
time,
time.
yeah, so the higher it is on the momentum time frame. Now see if I have these four, so this will be my priority of checking कि इसमें कुछ बन रहा है क्या, then this or the I mean these two. But if I have only this one and this one, then this will be my priority to check.
Okay.
And also one more thing that can help people is that कि bear market में ना what will happen is that this is improving, this is leading, this is weakening, this is lagging, right? तो bear market में क्या होगा, it will become like this. जो बुल मार्केट में ऐसे होता है, ओके, बेयर मार्केट में इंप्रूविंग से आके नीचे जाता है. तो द होल लॉजिक इज दैट दिस इज अ डाउन ट्रेंड एंड व्हेन इट इज डूइंग अ मीडियम टर्म पुल बैक एंड जब ये नीचे जाने वाला है तब ये ऐसे होता है. ऐसे जाके जब इसका नेक्स्ट लेग ऑफ करेक्शन स्टार्ट्स, देन इट गोज डाउन.
Yeah, absolutely. Got it. Okay. So now RRG you checked. Okay, just go back to RRG. Let's do since many of them had requested for IT and Pharma. We had to do this, but now looking at from a medium term, or from a short daily time frame, which is like next 2 weeks, or medium
Hmm.
term, say like weekly charts? What is the two indices
Hmm.
you are looking at, or one indices you are looking at from a bullish perspective?
See, when I mentioned media, but unfortunately, Z takes the limelight over there because that is the highest
Hmm.
weightage stock.
Hmm.
So media was one which I found was interesting. अभी ये can you see this tail length of the micro cap? ये कितना
Yeah.
fast travel किया, right?
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
is towards right hand side pointing upward. So this is a
Correct.
good one because इसमें क्या हो
Hmm.
रहा है, momentum is also rising, the relative strength is also rising, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
this is the new one that has entered, that is micro cap. मतलब जो छोटे मोटे stocks है,
Hmm.
the small cap stocks that can probably come into focus. Mid cap 50, that is
Hmm.
the one that has turned up, and again it is right hand side pointing upwards. So these are the two that are looking good. There is no
Hmm.
specific on the bad side, that is because ये कोई है ही नहीं इधर, and in general everything is moving up. And the other ones, you can see that bank nifty, private bank, financial service, so all the
Hmm.
finance part which were already leading, and now you can see over here what is happening. तो ये क्या होता है, now this is where the nifty index is falling. Okay, this
Hmm.
blue line that you see, now
Yes.
this up move
Hmm.
which you see, okay, यहाँ
Yeah,
पर
it
से
has again. Yeah.
see, this is over here when
Hmm.
private banks have started turning up, right?
Hmm.
And now
Hmm.
they are turning up and they are going a slightly higher. Okay, but you need
Got it.
more data for this, for them to turn up.
Okay, perfect. So now, okay, you selected the best indices, okay, and then you'll drill down to stocks,
Yeah,
right? And when you're talking about stocks from a long term perspective, you check the valuation charts. But if you're looking at
yeah,
medium term or short term, you just go with RMI, or you go with Dow Trend and the moving averages combination, which you just
correct,
explained in the webinar, right?
correct,
So the
correct,
first, so the top down approach is first check the sentiment, come to heat map or RRG, and then
correct,
come to RMI and Dow Trend, right?
correct,
Moving averages. But if
correct.
someone is looking at long term, the only change when they're checking the stocks is they have to
Valuation.
look at the valuations also.
Yeah, yeah. In
Absolutely.
fact, even
Okay.
medium term
Got
guys
it.
can look at. Yeah, even medium term look guys can look at. Uh, but उसमें क्या रहेगा? See, now I'll tell you कि medium term में कैसे analyze करने का. Okay, the medium
Hmm.
term में ना, you might want to see valuation of 3 year or 5 year. Okay,
Hmm.
because that is the medium term that you are looking at. Long term के लिए use 10 year or max data.
Hmm.
Okay, so while analyzing the
Got it.
stock, imagine that you are getting, you are confused कि मेरे पास 15 stock आ गया. Then you can put one more
Hmm.
filter in that, in valuation, and उसमें देखने के 3 and 5 year का valuation कैसा है. Okay,
Hmm.
so we have already given a couple of parameters, but you can check it on all the parameters, uh, and you
Yeah.
can see okay,
We,
which gives you a
guys,
good
we are not we
valuation.
are not we are not explaining what the valuation chart is. Just go to help section.
Yeah,
Just point out, please. Just go to help section.
yeah,
Go to
I'm
best
trying.
features of strike, please, and then check long term investing. Okay, this will explain you how to use strike valuation setup for medium and long term perspective. It's very helpful. Kindly do it. Those who are not signed up on strike, do it right now. Web.strike.money. You will get a 7 days free trial. And if you have already utilized the 7 days free trial, all you need to do is go to my profile section, click on my plans and billings, and you can subscribe. So Jay, let's take up a couple of questions. Anish is asking,
Yeah.
please address making of own indices for use in RRG, or alternatively you guys can build. Definitely the sector analysis we want to do it, Anish. It has taken a little bit of time, but you can create your own watch list and you can use the watch list in RRG. Okay, that is one way. What you can do is just go
So
to
see,
watch
so that day
list.
ना, that day, so just to give people an example, वो अदानी स्टॉक सब गिर रहे थे, right? तो I made a watch list of अदानी ग्रुप, okay? और अभी ये मेरे को खाली अदानी ग्रुप को ही चेक करना है on the RRG. Then what I'll do is that first I made a watch list of Adani group, okay? Then I went to RRG, and RRG के अंदर if I do Adani Group stocks, so this is how I can find RRG over here. Okay, for the specific related stocks. Now I told you that even I keep tracking the stocks which are interesting. So there is this portfolio watch list. Okay, so what I do is that every once in a week, or I mean in the weekends, I just check and I see what stocks are going where. I mean कौन से leading में जा रहे हैं, कौन से lagging में जा रहे हैं. So within a minute I can come to know which are the stocks that I need to dig deeper in case if I am invested. Okay, so the good part is that you can make your watch list over here and then go to RRG. Okay, go to RRG and try to find out which are the stocks जहाँ पे action ज़्यादा हो रहा है.
Okay. So, just to understand, Jay, when your simple Mervick is asking one question, when you are checking nucleus, you check the fundamentals, but when you are analyzing the other stock, one second, I'm just lost his comment somewhere. It was a very interesting comment. Okay. While evaluating nucleus, you did a financial check and found it not suitable enough as per the declining profits. But while analyzing Loris, why didn't you check the QOQ declining profits?
Very good. I was expecting this question. Fine. So I'll tell you what has happened. See, in Loris Lab, you can see their balance sheet. Okay, they have been consistently expanding. If you see their balance sheet, uh, you know, यहाँ पे equity assets में, can you see the fixed assets? ये
Hmm.
1700 से 4000 हो गया, right? That is
Hmm.
almost twice they have put in the capacity, right? Now what is happening is that, see, what happens is that when you put a capacity, ऐसा नहीं है ना कि कल तुमने पत्थर डाल दिया परसों से रेवेन्यू आना चालू हो गया, ऐसा नहीं होता है ना. You build the facility, there is, you will have the manpower. फिर over a period of time that facility will gradually start picking up, and that's where you will start getting revenues out of that. So what is happening is
Hmm.
that you can see that Laurus ka revenue more or less is flat, right? That you can see it over here, correct? So
Hmm.
यहाँ पे they haven't done much, but you see their depreciation. ये 200 वाला 500 हो गया, 400 हो गया, right? You see the profits that have half, I mean not half, it is down 80-90%, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So this is where now the game is that के uh, see, then of course I heard the management interview. Okay, so they were telling के okay यहाँ पर से अभी revenue pickup हो सकता है. And like I mentioned to you, फार्मा में हमेशा ना I trust more on the charts, because कभी भी कोई भी information आने वाला रहता है ना, वो chart पे दिख जाता है. Okay,
Yeah.
you can see over here that there is a nice breakout that has happened, right?
Hmm.
And there is something that market knows that probably we are not able to see at this point of time, and that might possibly be the profits and the revenue ramp up that we can see. Now I'll give you one more example. Okay, कि pharma में क्यों ऐसे करना चाहिए. Now there is one stock which you might know, Shilpa Medicare. Okay, now can you see this chart? This is beautiful looking chart, right? It is trending higher. Market correction में भी कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा, right? I hope everyone will agree to
Hmm.
this. Now you see the fundamentals of that. अगर देखते तो कभी लेते ही नहीं. See the profits, 1 crore, and see the point where it had given a breakout on the chart. So on the chart, it had broken out somewhere over here only. That's where it had started a major higher top, higher bottom formation, right? So it was Feb. Even now, see, Feb May is where the profit started picking up. But even though it is not that great, I mean, if you see your annual balance, annual this thing, they used to clock a pat of 150, 170 or so. But the whole idea is that there might be something that the street is knowing. Okay,
Hmm.
that is why it is picking up. And I'll tell you one more interesting thing. ये शिल्पा मेडिकेयर भी मेरे रडार में क्यों आया था पता है? बिकॉज wait, I had kept it in my portfolio watch list as well. Shilpa Medicare. Eh, I removed it. But anyways, I'll show you कि ये मेरे radar में भी क्यों आया था. Because when it had started to see an up move, okay, Shilpa Medicare, in the weekly chart, it had come to this crossover long time back, and then I had seen, huh. Now you see the tail length. Can you see this, Shravan?
Hmm.
ये यहाँ पे है,
Yeah.
and you see up move now
Hmm.
हर एक टेल में. एक सेकंड ना.
Hmm.
Okay, it was over
Hmm.
here. Now this
Yeah.
when you see is 1303. Okay,
Hmm.
sorry, 1803. 18. अरे ये क्या था? This was sorry, this was 2024, right? Or नहीं, it might be below before that. Shilpa, sorry, 1 minute. So Shilpa Medicare actually on the weekly had 180324. ओके, ये आरआरजी में इधर आया था, राइट? एंड नाउ इफ आई
When
टेल
was
यू
that date?
1803, मतलब ये 18 वी आर कंसिडरिंग स्टार्ट ऑफ द वीक.
Okay. Hmm.
ओके,
Hmm.
सो
Oh, I thought it was the price. Sorry. Yeah.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, सो शिल्पा 1803,
Hmm.
इट वाज समवेयर ओवर हियर, दिस.
Hmm.
ओके,
Hmm.
एंड यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी आई हैड सीन अ ब्रेकआउट ओवर हियर on the charts.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's where this one caught my eye. And you can see that इसका अभी भी प्रॉफिट कुछ बड़ा नहीं है. इफ यू सी इट्स फंडामेंटल ऑल्सो, वो ऑलमोस्ट शिल्पा मेडिकेयर इज एट अ प्रॉफिट ऑफ, आई मीन उसका पीई भी 140 ऐसा है. बट देर इज प्रॉब्लम, probably something big that is going on that we don't know at this point of time. Eventually if the earning doesn't come up, then it will not be a good sign. But you can
Hmm.
see over here as well, the depreciation is constantly increasing. Matlab they might be adding some capacity. So if you
Okay.
see non-current asset, you can see that
Hmm.
it was 1300, uska 2000 ho gaya, 2100.
Hmm.
So yes,
Okay.
basically that was the point.
Okay. Got it. And yes, Anish, will definitely create a sector what indices. What is defined by the NSE, we need some time. Of course, BSE data, long due, we need to add it. Um okay, any other questions? Okay, 45 stocks have been newly added in FNO list. Has it got updated in Strike platform? Yes, everywhere except the Strike
Strike
Nova
Nova
Insights.
Insights,
Yeah,
we will add it. We'll add it.
we'll add it. We'll just look into it as to why it has not been added over there. Okay. So, Jay, before we end, just want to tell the viewers, go to web.strike.money. All it takes is how much time to analyze on a daily basis, Jay. Imagine
So
I'm an
no,
office going person, 15 minutes.
so see, honestly, the whole idea is that कि because we are lazy people, okay, हमने ये सब कुछ बनाया है, those filters,
Hmm.
those scanners, because you know earlier this exercise it used to take me 2-3 hours because मैं वो मेटा स्टॉक पे रन करता था.
Hmm.
All the relative scan, फिर उसके अंदर मैं चेक करता था. But now I think it barely takes me 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes
Absolutely. Yeah.
if I
Even
want
for an
to.
office going person, 15 minutes is all you require to analyze, and self study is the best study rather than depending on the tips or asking for someone. All you need to do is check the sentiment for the broader view on the markets. As Jay has explained, if you have just joined, just the recordings is already available. It will be available once this webinar gets over. All you need to do is check the sentiment, RRG, and then RMI. You know, sentiment for the broader index, that is the Nifty 50. Then comes RRG just to see the sectors. He has already explained in the same webinar as to what is the best two setups to check the RRG.
And
Then once you come to know, okay,
वन मोर थिंग, स्टॉक्स भी आरआरजी में देख सकते हो, मतलब वंस यू
हाँ
फिगर आउट
स्टॉक
द
भी
सेक्टर.
RRG में ही देख सकते हो. It's a beautiful tool made by Julius, which is available. We are the first one to display in the Indian markets. Um, just check it out. Even stocks, you can either do that or RMI or Dow trend, whatever you are comfortable, or with moving averages. Everything has been explained over here. You don't need to pay anything upfront. Just create an account, web.strike.money. What you do is you will get 7 days free trial, and in all the 7 days, just go through every single day 10 minutes so that you will get a hang of it, hang of the Strike platform, and then you can think of subscribing. Okay. So before we wind up, okay, how can we use Strike for index options? Definitely we'll take up this webinar. There is a way where you can just check Strike OI insights, which is there in options module. You can go to help section and you can also see the video on that. Mahinder Sharma ji. And okay, Prahar is saying that my question is not answered. He's looking at 5 stocks intraday at 8 a.m. Based on news. I'm sorry.
नहीं, सो ओके, इसका भी है, बेस्ड ऑन न्यूज तो नहीं है, बट आई कैन टेल यू हाउ यू कैन फाइंड आउट. ओके, सो द वे टू फाइंड आउट इज दैट आप स्कैनर में जाइए, ठीक है. इफ यू वांट लिक्विड निफ्टी 500 स्टॉक्स, सो आप बास्केट में 500 स्टॉक सिलेक्ट करिए. सॉरी, दिस इज आउट परफॉर्मिंग. हाँ, दिस इज निफ्टी 500. ओके, सो अभी आपको इंट्राडे के लिए चाहिए, राइट? सो यू पुट द फिल्टर के कौन से डेली और आर्ली में, सॉरी, ऑन द डेली टाइम फ्रेम विच आर इन बाय एंड न्यू बाय. ओके, और आर्ली में कौन से ऐसे स्टॉक है जो नए बाय दे रहे हैं. सो नाउ दिस इज योर फिल्टर. अभी आपको 5 स्टॉक चाहिए थे ना, तो आपको 24 मिल गए. नाउ यू क्लिक ईच ऑफ देम एंड यू एनालाइज कौन से अच्छे हैं. अगर आपको और फिल्टर्स डालने हैं, कम करने हैं, तो क्या करो, वीकली में भी बोल दो कि इधर भी मेरे को बाय या न्यू बाय चाहिए. तो अब ये क्या हो गया, 2 टाइम फ्रेम पे, हायर टाइम फ्रेम पे बाय है, तो अभी आपको खाली आर्ली में नीचे जाके देखना है. तो इसमें से वो 24 स्टॉक के बदले 5 स्टॉक आ गए.
Wonderful. But yes, now, guys, one more good news is we are shifting to this Strike platform was on 5 minutes delayed data. We are shifting to 1 minute in the next, say, like futures and options. We are going live immediately in the next few days. And then we'll take up the RRG, the index, the scanners. In fact, we are going to bring scanners for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. If you feel the necessity that we should bring scanners even for the 5 minutes chart, we'll definitely do it. So Strike will be a 360-degree platform, whether you are a trader, intraday trader, swing trader, positional trader, or a long-term investor. You have fundamental data, you have RRG, you have valuations, everything is covered. So do subscribe to Strike, sign up on web.strike.money for a 7 days free trial, and then once the free trial is over, you can subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. If you have enjoyed this webinar and learned, do post in the comment section. Thank you so much.
Actually, thank you for all your encouragement, because even on holidays, we see people of, I mean, thousand people attending that.
We have 1,000 people attending today. That's fantastic. So yes, 1 minute data will be great. So there, yes, absolutely. We are also looking forward. I am on the necks of the developers to get it done immediately, but yeah, everything takes time. It's
even they are actually working around the clock. They are also working around the clock, and they are working very hard. Hopefully, we should be able to put it for you all soon.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you guys for all your encouragement. Do subscribe to Strike, and don't forget to tell your friends about Strike, those who are in the markets. Web.strike.money. Go there, subscribe right now. If you have missed this webinar, do watch it again, because Jay Vora was at his best. He has explained the thought process as to how you can do the top down approach, that is identifying whether the overall market is topping out or bottoming out, then choosing the right sectors, and then the right stocks, right? So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Do check out the recordings
And yeah,
again. It's on the,
one more thing. I think we will put out on our social media. So this time, let us know which sectors you want in the next week for us to analyze. So please do
cool.
participate. If you participate, then we'll be able to take up your queries as well. So
Yes,
thanks a lot.
absolutely. Thank you, guys. Do take care. Happy weekend. Bye bye.